we're going to be looking at making a reflection of this quite stunning sunset here in this water, which is a great effect. There's already some reflection, but we're going to exaggerate that just a bit. What we're going to do first of all, though, is we're going to just lighten this up a bit, as I think it's a bit too dark and moody. So let's go up to Image, Adjustments, and let's select Levels. And we're going to grab this right-hand slider here and just drag it to the left. Let's hit OK, and you can see it's just brightened it up a little. Now what I need to do is to make a selection of this area that we want to flip over for our reflection. So let's select the rectangular marquee tool, start here in the bottom right, and just drag this box over. What I can now do, now that I've got this rough selection, is if I simply tap the arrow keys up, I can just select a little bit more exactly where I want to be, and I think that's pretty good. Let's now do Edit and Copy, which copies this selection into the memory. And now let's go down to our Layers palette, select the New Layer button, which creates here Layer 1, and we're going to paste in this copy. So let's hit Edit and Paste, and you can see now that we've got this sky here. What I want to do is I now need to flip this selection so that I can then move it down for our reflection. I do this by using the Transform tool, which is up under Edit, Free Transform, which brings up this bounding box. If I now right click, you can see here down the bottom I've got Flip Vertical, which will flip it right over. There we go. Hit the tick up the top, and there we have it. Let's get our Move tool and let's just drag this down slightly. There we go, just move it right into position. Now you can see here, because the sky was not completely straight with my marquee, I've copied a little bit too much C here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Clone tool just to tidy that up a little bit. Let's click the I button here, and you can see it actually takes off this background so we can say exactly what we're working with. So let's zoom right in. There we go, and let's start over here on the left. Select the Clone Stamp tool. Let's get a nice sized brush. I think 21's a bit too large for this. Let's try 9, there we go. Hold down the Alt key where we want to copy from, and now literally just paste away. Now I can actually hear it looks very rough at the moment, but when we apply our final effect in a second, you can see what we're doing. Let's just hold down the space key and you can see it turns to a hand, and we can just drag the image over. There we go. I'm being very rough here, but you can of course really take your time over this. You can see I keep on resampling from a different area. So let's carry on. Keep on resampling, working our way along this edge. Now we've got these hills to see if we can reflect, so let's see what we can do. And there we go, you can see. I'll come back to that last little awkward area in a second. It doesn't matter that we're going over the edge here, because we're going to drop it right down soon and you really won't notice any of it. Just working our way all the way along the end, and this end I think is fine. So let's go back to this awkward part. Just keep on moving our area over. Let's sample from over there, I think, and just to finish this off. There we go. I think that should be okay. It looks very rough, but remember we're zoomed right in at a detail that you're really not going to look at. So let's come back out so we can see the whole image, and let's put our background layer back on again. Now you can see we need just to move this area up slightly, so let's click on it and let's just zoom right up, and there we go. You can actually see now that we've got this reflection going on. Now one little thing to do is just to remove this part here where it's reflecting onto the land here, which wouldn't really happen. So let's select the eraser tool Let's get a slightly bigger brush, and we're just going to erase out this part of the image which really shouldn't be there. Now, you may be thinking this does not look very realistic, but what we're going to do with our layer 1 selected is click on the opacity slider, and we're going to drop it right down like so. Now you can see all this little messy bits that we were doing where I haven't done it too cleanly really doesn't matter too much, because you can actually see this very subtle reflection. The problem we do have though is we've got this band here where you can see the part that we've flipped. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to carry on with the eraser tool, but I'm going to drop the opacity of the eraser down again to about 40% or so, and I'm just going to take off very roughly this edge so it doesn't show up. Now, obviously because of the time constraints of this video, I'm being very, very rough here. You can really take your time and do this perfectly. Now, one last little trick that we can do is again with our layer 1 selected, which is our copy of this flipped sky, is there's a great little filter built into Photoshop up here in Filters, Distort and Ocean Ripple. Let's just drop this down slightly, hit OK, and it's a very subtle little effect. And you can just tweak this opacity until you have it just how you want it. And there you have a fairly effective way of using a reflection.